Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana and welcome to our last favorites of the year of 2022. This is December favorites. I'm wearing glasses. This is like a first, I think, for filming. I've had a rough week of medical mishaps, if you will, and I cannot wear my contacts for like the next week or so. So I have to wear my glasses. But I'm actually gonna take them off because the glare from the lights is just too much. I feel like it's very distracting when you see the reflection. So if I go out of focus, it's because I cannot see myself on my camera. So forgive me for that, but just know that I am pretty much blind at the moment. So yes, we made it. We made it through 2022. We made it through every single month of favorites. And I'm really happy and proud about that because I didn't know if I could do it. I don't know why it was like overwhelming for me in the beginning, but did it and you guys seem to like it, so I'm going to continue doing that. I do have like a little thank you at the end of this video, but I will put it at the end, so if you are interested, just stick around. It's just a few of my musings, you know, end of the year, we get all kind of sentimental, and I don't know, I just thought it would be nice to tell you thank you and share my thoughts about the year and hopefully about 2023 and our kind of wishes for the next year. So I'll leave that to the end. But right now we will do what we do every month, which is get into what I've been loving this month. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned this in my monthly favorites, but my monthly favorites are kind of like a chance for me to tell you what I've been wearing and using and whatever loving this month. It doesn't mean that it's brand new. Sometimes it might be, oftentimes it is, but oftentimes it also could be something that I've just discovered that's been out forever, or something from my collection that I rekindled a relationship with. So not to say that any of we have a little combination of them, but I guess I should say that at the beginning of most videos for my monthly favorites. But let's get into it. The first two, I'm gonna kind of couple together because these are the Roche Posay Anthelios UV Correct and Light Fluid Sunscreen. These names are ridiculous, but I've talked about these before. That's why I'm kind of putting them together, but these are two sunscreens. So this one is new. This is the Broad Spectrum SPF 70 UV Correct Daily Lotion Sunscreen. So this is a richer kind of cream, whereas this one, the Anthelios Light Fluid Sunscreen, is, like it suggests, a more fluid sunscreen, really in the vein of the Shaka from the Roche Posay. So you kind of have, they tend to make two different kinds, this kind of creamier, thicker, lotiony one, and this more fluid, lighter one. These are pretty similar. These are both available in the US, which is really exciting. And I love the fact that we have an SPF 60 and an SPF 70. Both of them have such high protections. I just feel super confident wearing both of them. They both have pretty much no tone to them. Like some of the UV Mune or the Shaka ones sometimes have this like lightly like yellowish tinge. Both of these are white, and I would say that the cream one, this daily lotion, is invisible. It's not gonna have any white cast, whereas this ultra light fluid sunscreen one. Sorry, I'm trying to say the names in case you are not necessarily watching, you're just maybe listening. But the light fluid one, this one can sometimes have a little bit of a cast on me. What I find is once I put it on, I will just kind of like let it sit for a few seconds, and then it's usually just around the edges or in my eyebrows where I just need to go and kind of rub it out. But it's not anything like really casty. It's just that extra kind of rubbing that needs to take place, which I don't mind, but just as a warning in case you are wondering. Okay, the next one, this is an interesting one. This is the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch. Okay, so I've talked about this. I will link it above. This is an interesting product. It did come out this year, I think in the summertime. It was kind of, my worry was that this was gonna come out and replace my beloved Water Fresh Touch or Tint. These names will never not kill me. And I did not like this at first. It wore terribly on me and I'm not sure what it was. I'll have to go back and kind of rewatch that video, but it really started like just peeling off on my face and was very patchy and just not sitting well, which is not usually a problem I have. I really don't have much texture on my skin. What I have found though is this one needs a brush. And I just washed the brush that I use with it typically, which is the Real Techniques Instapop blush brush. It's like an angled brush, but honestly, I can use any of my kind of foundation brushes. This one is actually from Naked Sundays. It was meant for a sunscreen, but it's like a flat top kabuki. This is the Kat Von D 10 brush, another angled brush. It just needs a brush, whatever you prefer. That is the way that this foundation works best. And this one is really, I would say, like a light medium coverage. You can definitely get medium coverage, but you can use just a few drops and kind of sheer it out to get a lighter coverage, which is also something I really enjoy. But one downside of the Waterfresh tint is that it's just like a watery tint, like the lightest of coverages. I think it's beautiful, but some days you just want a little bit more coverage, and that's where this Complexion touch comes in. And I have just been loving it. Like, I don't know if it was just an aberration the first few times when I used it, but my skin has been soaking it up in a good way, not in a bad way. And I love the fact that it sets down on my skin. It doesn't really like move too much, which is a really nice thing sometimes, especially like when you're wearing turtlenecks and big sweaters and scarves. You don't want it rubbing off on everything, or at least I don't. So I've just fallen in love, I guess, the first time with it. And I've been using it pretty regularly for the past month. Okay, I think I may have talked about this one before as well. This is the Westman Atelier Super Loaded Tinted Highlight. This thing is stunning. Can we see that? First off, the color that I have is Peau de Santé, and it's a newer shade, I believe. I couldn't find it on a lot of the websites, only on the Westman Atelier website. So you do have to pick it up from them versus like some other retailer, which is not a big deal, but just so you know, that's what I've found. There's something about this product. The packaging is heavy, it's weighty, it's luxe. Sometimes I can't open it. I feel like I have like a bauble. Like I want to like put it in a little pocket, and well, it did come with this little like pouch too. So it does feel very fancy, and that like I think definitely plays a part in it, but it's also the most stunning blush in the world. And I say it's a blush because I don't use it as a highlight, even though it is kind of a highlight. I'll put a little bit more on right now, but I just take my finger and I kind of swirl it in. It has pigment, but it's not overloaded where like you put a little bit on and you have a bright peach or pink cheek, but it has this golden glow that picks up on light. It makes your skin look so fresh, so juicy, so plump, and it has color, it has shine. And surprisingly, and I was really, really surprised by this, but it does kind of last. Like I will have this on in the morning, and then at night when I go to wash my face, it's still there, which is unique, I think, to cream blushes or highlights, whatever you want to call it, but also to clean beauty. Sometimes they just don't have the best staying power, in my opinion. And while this is incredibly expensive, it's one of those things where I bought it as a gift to myself, and I thoroughly enjoying it. And I think like it was a good purchase. Also, you can use it on your eyes. I'm not gonna put it on my lids today. I wonder if I could put it on my lips. Oh God, did I just find the secret to happiness? Oh yeah, that is so stunning. So basically obsessed with this. And I honestly think at this point, if you had to ask me like one powder, one cream blush, I think I could do it. I would definitely say this one at the moment. And then I would also, this is not in the favorites, but I've had it in my favorites before. This is the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. And this is in the French Rosé shade. These two, they kind of look similar. I'm into this like peachy pinky shade. Well, they're actually quite different, but I think I could do it. I think these two would be it because I use them as like a highlight blush, both of them. And they just have this amount of pigment that is enough, but it looks natural, but it doesn't look overly done. It doesn't look clownish, and it's stunning. Now that I have kind of gone overboard, I can't get over, I'm gonna put it on my lips all the time now. Let's move on to something else I just kind of picked up recently. I've had it in the past, but I got a new shade, and I am obsessed. This is the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner, and it's the shade Big Truffle, which is a brown shade. I had the regular black shade like years ago. I remember loving it, but I don't know why I didn't repurchase it. I think what it was is that I kind of fell out of love with black eyeliners. They're just too rich on me. Like they look like you can see that I'm wearing it. I want it to be not noticeable. And this shade, it's such a nice, like warm chocolatey brown, which you don't tend to find in eyeliner. I think a lot of the ones that I have, even I don't have any liquid ones at the moment, but they're really rich. They're like almost like a dark, like oaky color. So this is just, what is this? This is the Cali Ray. And it's really pretty, but it almost, you think it's black on your eyes, whereas this one, the Fenty one, it really does look brown. It also has a felt tip, which a lot of people do not like. I actually always loved felt tip, like more than brush tip, because I find that you can get a sharper, more kind of precise line with it, and you just have a little bit, in my opinion, more control. I'm trying to draw on my hand, you can't see that. But it is something I think it takes a little bit more practice to get the hang of. But once you kind of pick it up, I find that you can get more control with the amount that comes out and then also the preciseness of the line. So for me, it's a huge win, and I'm just happy to have a new brown in my collection because the last one I had was the MAC one, which was nice. It ran out though, and I wasn't like dying to repurchase it. Another one, and I don't know if I've talked about this, but this one has been making its waves, if you will. This is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. This mascara is incredible. I used to have a really hard time packing mascaras because I have a lot. I do a lot of tubing mascara reviews. And while this is not a tubing mascara, it's a pretty spectacular mascara. And when I did my last 2 trips, which were like week plus trips, I brought, I think, 3 mascaras, which for me is really good because I need one that's like really natural and light, one that's more voluminous, and then one that I know won't like budge at all. Lately, I've been able to do with just 2, the really natural one and then the like voluminous won't budge one, because this one is the voluminous won't budge one. This stuff is incredible. It takes the fewest number of swipes to get the most amount of volume, which is not always the case. I feel like sometimes to get that volume, I'm like sitting here. The mascara I put on today, which is not this, has smudged so bad. This one will not smudge, unlike the one I had on today or have on today. This one, it takes just a few swipes and you get volume. You can also get definition. It's got a brush that is probably not everyone's favorite, but somehow it really works. It's this kind of rubbery bristle one. It does have a curve to it. And I think there's actually, I saw somewhere where it like has, I thought it had like a little hole in it, but I don't see that. It's nondescript. It's really not a unique wand, but whatever they have done with this formula is insane and wonderful, and I'm so glad I picked it up. It's often out of stock, but if you can get your hands on it, it's one of those things that I really think most people will love. Okay, we've got a few more. The lip color that I have on underneath the Westman Atelier is this really fun e.l.f. I think it's like, I don't know what they actually call it because it doesn't have the name on it, but it's kind of like a lip stain-ish. Not super long-lasting lip stain, but it's supposed to be, I think, hydrating, and it is only $6. Now, it's also pretty small, and I have realized that like as I've been using it, it gets a little harder to get everything out just because like the packaging isn't the best. Sometimes, you know, like it's e.l.f. You get what you pay for, but this color is the most natural shade. This is the shade Pinkies Up, and it's like my lips but better, but like a little bit pinky. Just makes me look alive, especially now that I have found I can put this Westman Atelier over it. I find it to just be such a nice little like natural pop of color, and it does last quite a long time. Not like the Fenty lip stain, but not terrible for $6. I've just really liked the color more than anything. Okay, 2 more things. This was a really unexpected find. One of you subscribers out there recommended that I look into the brand Mad About Skin. It's by a fellow YouTuber who has a much bigger channel than I, and he has put out a line of skincare products. I bought pretty much everything. The only thing that I didn't get was the serum, but I picked up this. This is his sunscreen. It's just Protect and Hydrate. I think it's like $13. It's really, really affordable, and I am freaking obsessed with this. I had no idea what to expect. I knew it was a chemical sunscreen. I knew it had good protection. It's SPF 50 plus. It's a lot. It's 100 milliliters or 3.3 ounces. And again, like very, very cheap. But I was just expecting a cream chemical sunscreen that I put on my face, was kind of greasy, kind of, you know, like a little glowy, that kind of thing. But this is not that. This is more like a serum. It comes out of this pump top, which if I can open it, I will pump a little on my hand. But you're not gonna see much. It's just like a normal sunscreen when you look at it. But what it is when I put it on, it is the most amazing, like at soaking into my skin and just kind of being there. But is that it soaks in. There's so few sunscreens, which is kind of crazy, that I feel like really soak in and soak in quickly. And they don't, some of them will soak in, but then they'll kind of like leave it very matte or feeling dry. This one, it feels like I put a serum on. Like I really, really enjoy the texture, the finish of it, just the whole experience. And it's just so easy. And this is what I have kind of come to want in a sunscreen. Sometimes I don't mind it being a little creamier or richer or thicker or tinted or whatever, but oftentimes I like stuff that is just easy to put on. And then if I don't want to put on any makeup, I don't have to. It's just not too distracting on my face. Or if I want to put on makeup, it's you just putting on makeup. It's not like fighting with the sunscreen. And this is that. So the fact that it's so inexpensive, it's also by a smaller maker, I guess creator. It's just a really win-win. And I don't know him, but I would love to like reach out and tell him how great this is because I just am super impressed by it. So well done. You get a chef's kiss from me. Okay. And our last thing that I wanted to talk about is kind of an idea more than the actual product. I like this product a lot. This is the Ellis Brooklyn Sweet Perfume scent. It is sweet, which I don't mind. It's not too like florally or citrusy sweet. It's got a unique scent to it. So if you are ever in the market, like just go test it out. Maybe you'll like it. I find that any of the Ellis scents are wonderful. So it's kind of like a matter of which one you prefer. But what I'm trying to say is I like the size of this better than buying a full perfume. I find it to be intimidating to buy a full perfume these days because even the ones that I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I love it. It's my favorite perfume of all time. I find after maybe 6 months, a year, I have moved on and then I have a full or 3/4 full thing of perfume that may just sit there. And sometimes I'll come back to it because, you know, they don't go bad. But other times I'll come back in a few years and I'm like, ooh, that scent is not me. That's like Dana 2015 smell and like very young or something like that. So this is, for me, a good alternative. It doesn't mean that some people may have their one scent and it makes more sense to buy the full thing. But for me, I like buying these little, I think $30-ish ones. I also can buy a few of them and kind of like as the seasons and my moods change, I can kind of rotate with them and then I can mix them. There are all these things. I can travel with them much more easily. I just have really enjoyed it. I don't think it's necessarily the best bang for your buck, but if you're like me and you kind of like hop from perfume to perfume, this is a good option. Okay guys, my camera is still alive. I can barely see, but you know, we're here together. I don't think I mentioned this. I filmed this whole video and 2 others yesterday, no sound. I plugged in my mic, but it wasn't like all the way in. That's frustrating because then it's like all this hard work that I have to redo and then hours of my life that I have to kind of like repurpose for filming. But you know, it doesn't happen often, so I'm happy that it happened just this once and we made it through. So I did want to just say thank you if you are still here at this point, either in the video or in my channel or in all of hubbub of the world, but thank you. It has meant so much for me to see my channel continue to grow. And I'm not talking like exponential growth where like I'm a big creator. I'm not. I understand where I am in the world of YouTube and that's fine. I also have a full-time job and I have lots of other responsibilities. So I put in the time that I can and I feel like I'm happy with where I am. Of course, I would love to grow. I would love to have this be my full-time job. I would love to put out more and more content. I am getting a new lens for my camera, even though I just got a brand new camera, which I was pretty happy with. So I am like trying to step it up a notch and continue to grow and improve. And I just thank every single one of you who's been here watching and growing with me. And, you know, it means the world to me. I love this. It gives me this creative outlet that I wouldn't have elsewhere. And I am so excited to see what 2023 has in store. I know that's kind of cliched to say, but like, isn't it always like, if you're not excited for the new year and fresh beginnings, like, I don't ever want to be that person. I want to be excited. So I hope you guys are too. And I have 2 really exciting videos coming at the end of the year. So this will come out probably earlier than my normal favorite video. So be on the lookout for 2 really exciting videos, and I will see you in them. Bye guys.